Hey guys, it's Bob with the Aquatics Bob Squad. I had to come up with a new name because my dad keeps stealing my OG work that I put into Aquatic Bobs. Now he keeps calling himself Aquatics Eddie, which doesn't even make sense. It's like you can't have multiple aquatics. I guess maybe you can. Anyways, welcome back to another video with Aquatic Bobs. Now I'm almost saying Aquatics Bobs. But so tonight I just want to do a video giving you guys a little update, some of the recent ups and downs in my tank. The first one being buying the Reef Code A and Reef Code B off Amazon. And I think somebody bought it and used it, filled most of it up with water or something, and returned it. And then Amazon just resold it because I don't think they really go through their returns with that much. I don't think people even know what they're looking for. Let me just put it like that. And so I filled up my reservoir up here, and after, because there was still a quarter left when I originally filled it all the way up, and after a month or so I noticed that when it would dose into the aquarium up here in the top left corner of the tank, it wouldn't make the water cloudy like it normally does. And I started testing the water more frequently, and I noticed that my elk just kept dropping and dropping and dropping from almost 9.0 all the way down to 6.0 over the course of like a month and a half. And so I decided I'm going to change things up. I'm going to buy a new bottle of it. So of course I went back to Amazon because that's where it's the cheapest. And I bought a new bottle and replenished it all, and right away when it dosed, it was very cloudy and my elk jumped up. And I was testing it every day, twice a day. A couple days ago I tested it and I think it was like 10.8. Just ridiculously high. So right away I lowered it. It doses 8 times a day, and it was dosing I think like 6 or 7 milliliters each time, and I lowered 1 milliliter on each channel that it dosed, so it was like 8 milliliters less, and tested it again the next day. It was still like 10.7 or something. So I did it again and removed one of the dosing times, so it's only 7 times a day. Tested it again, it was 10.4. Waited another 12 hours, tested again, it was 10.2. So I just lowered 1 more milliliter again. But anyways, what happened is over the course of like 3 or 4 days, it went from 6 all the way up to 10.8. And it stressed out some corals. It was interesting that by it lowering though, it actually didn't really stress anything out. Everything had adapted well. It was over a longer period of time, but everything had adapted well. Everything was still growing. Everything was still coloring up more and more. But here we are now that it jumped up over several days, and I've got a few corals that just aren't happy about it. So this bower banky, you can see it's kind of poking through its flesh a little bit. Same with this one, and these have been super healthy. They're not very happy about it. A couple of the chalices here, you can see it on the middle one in the screen, the top part of it. Part of the skeleton is coming undone. Some more of my jelly bean chalices. Very sad day for the jelly beans and for Aquatic Bobs. This guy was, I think, the only one that kind of got frustrated from the elk dropping in the tank. But so that was one issue. Another issue was that I didn't even catch my salinity was like 35.3, which is like 1.02 or 1.0265. and that's just too high. I like it right around 1.025 or about 34.3, somewhere in there. I know that's not exactly the same, but that's kind of where I like my tank, because there's room to swing on both sides. But my salinity got high, so over the course of the last 2 days I've slowly been lowering that, taking out a quarter gallon of salt water. 3 times now I've done that, and I got my salinity back down to 34.6, so I'm almost there. And I feel like the corals, the acros, are starting to color up more again. And for a while they weren't really coloring up that great. They kind of stunted out. When I say a while, I really mean like 2 days, because I was noticeably seeing more and more color every day in these. And when I do a little top down shot of some of these acros, like, it's just amazing. A couple videos ago I did that. Some of you guys got to see, and it was very, like, some of them didn't even look real. Like, when I was watching them in the video, I was looking at them thinking, people are gonna think like I edited the crap out of this or put fake corals in my tank or something. I was even telling my wife, like, this just doesn't look real. In fact, some of them I actually had to turn the colors down. I had to pull the saturation. So natural saturation is at 100 in Adobe Premiere Pro, and I was pulling it down to like 90, and it goes up to 200 or down to 0. 0 is completely black and white. 200 makes it look like a rainbow vomited on never mind, I won't go there. But so I was actually pulling the saturation down. It still looked just ridiculous. That's one thing I love about this camera, is it really is doing a good job at capturing what it looks like. So I make minor adjustments in post editing, and it's just beautiful. It really does a great job. Look at this fish. Hi, buddy. This guy just loves sitting on the corals and just doing whatever he wants. But anyways, yeah, I just wanted to keep this kind of a brief video and just let you guys know that, you know, I still make mistakes. I still struggle with stuff in this tank. But that being said, I also consistently stick with it. And this is the big thing, is and I've had people comment on my channel that just sound like they're depressed about life and everything. And I just never want to get that attitude. I never want to let myself get to that place of almost feeling like a victim, like life just isn't fair to me, because this is what I make it. You know, I've put so much money, time, effort, hard work into this system for me to get a bad attitude about it when something doesn't go right, or when I make a mistake, or even when just nature takes a dive. I don't ever want to be caught with my pants down, whining and having a bad attitude. Now, sometimes I do whine a little bit. Sometimes I do get a little bit of a bad attitude. But usually I can get myself in check pretty quick. And I just want that to be an encouragement for you guys. Like, this came from not quitting. A lot of you have amazing tanks that all came from not quitting. Everyone in this hobby has experienced hardship, some more than others. I get it. Some people have jobs and they don't have the time. I work 8-9 hours a day, and then I spend an hour to 3 hours every day on my tank in the evening, while spending time talking to my wife and hanging out with my son and dog, and sometimes on the phone. I'm just putzing around doing stuff. Tonight I took off this pump in the back, cleaned it, moved it to a different location of the tank just to try to alternate some of the flow a little bit more, which is actually doing a really awesome job. But yeah, I just, man, don't quit, you guys. Dig deep. We talked a little bit in a couple videos ago. It starts at the beginning of your day. That's how your day starts, is when your alarm clock goes off and you wake up in the morning. Nobody wants to just pop right out of bed. It's hard. Your body is tired. Your mind is tired. Your mind's groggy. It's hard to do that. But if your alarm goes off in the morning and you can train yourself to get out of bed before you even finish turning it off, and I'm not talking about hitting the snooze button a few times and then getting out of bed. I'm talking about training your mind, training your body to get your ass out of bed the first time your alarm goes off, and make your bed right away. Take a shower, get ready, do whatever you got to do, and those are your first accomplishments of the day. And you say to yourself, you look at yourself in the mirror and you just say, I'm gonna kick ass today. I'm gonna do what I have to do today to own this day, to make this day mine, and give God the glory. And that's how you start your day. If you can get in the habit of doing that every morning, and that's your attitude when you start the day, you're setting yourself up for success. And it's amazing the things that'll happen. Over the last few months, I decided I'm gonna just do it. Even though I don't feel like it, I'm gonna do it anyways. And my wife actually encouraged me about that a few months back, and that's maybe where part of it started. Is she said sometimes you just gotta do the stuff that you don't want to do. Even if you don't feel like doing it, sometimes you just gotta do it. And I know that's such a common cliche thing that maybe you hear all the time, but there's truth in it. Sometimes you just gotta do it, and you build up those habits, and you build up hard work, and you build up discipline. That's really what's happening, is you're building discipline in your life, self-control. You're strengthening your character. You're becoming more of a man. You're becoming more of a woman when you walk the way that you were supposed to walk. And we were created for challenge. We were actually created for hardship, because hardship brings us together. It brings us closer, and it does something to us that only struggle can do. You know, when's the last time you saw a successful person with continued success? Now I get it, some people just inherit millions of dollars, but they're always pissed off. They always have bad attitudes. They always have pride issues and think too much of themselves, and a few years later they have nothing to show for it. They blew everything because they didn't earn it. They don't know what hard work is. They don't know how to keep it. They haven't disciplined themselves to continue in that struggle. The successful people out there, and if you look it up, if you look for them and you make them your role models, and you learn and watch what they do, they're consistent. They don't sleep all day. They don't isolate. They have relationships. They have friendships. They work hard. They take chances. They make a lot of mistakes, but they learn from them, and they keep moving forward. So that's going to do it for this video. I'm 13 minutes in. I appreciate you guys watching. Just going to keep making videos. Some of them are going to be all about the Reef Tank. Some of them might be about life. Some of them might be about my dad and I, and this journey that we're on together. And some of them might just be whatever. I don't know. But that's what I love about this channel, and that's what I love about you guys, is we're still here. We're still hanging out together. And in some weird way that's not normally seen in the world, I really consider you guys family, brothers, sisters, friends. So appreciate you watching. Love you guys. This is Aquatic Bobs. Out.